we only know so much right now, right? After 3 days of fall camp. But after those 3 days, what have been your biggest takeaways?
Just the first practice was a huge difference to me compared to first practice last year. So I went to the first practice last year, and I've been to every minute of every practice so far. So I've seen everything. And when I walked away from the first practice last year, I thought, wow, there's a long ways to go. Because the horn would go off at the end of a period, and everybody would just kind of look at each other like, so we think we know what we're supposed to do now. There was some hesitation on offense, a lot of stopping in the middle of things and teaching. So here we go in first practice last Thursday. They had their meetings on Wednesday. We go in Thursday. And from the minute the players walked out of the door of the student-athlete building, everybody knew exactly where they were supposed to be and what they were supposed to do. And when the horn went off, they immediately, boom, they went to where they were supposed to be. When I was watching the offense, there was some teaching going on in individual. They got into team. It was a machine. And so night and day difference on where they are in terms of understanding both the offense and the defense, where to be in practice, the way practice works, how to do everything. They're so far ahead. It is light years ahead of where they were in practice one from a year ago. Now that should translate to better preparation early in the season because these guys know what they're doing, and they understand the concepts of what they're supposed to do, which they better because Portland State comes pretty quick here. But then right on the heels of that is LSU, Utah, and Wisconsin. They play some great teams early on. I think that they will be way more prepared in the early season and have a bigger package in offensively than they did last season.
How would you evaluate the play of Tanner Mangum so far?
He's been really good. So I've noticed the difference already in the emphasis of the offense. So it's not just Tanner. Tanner seems in command. He seems to be making his reads. The ball's coming up quicker. It's getting out on time, and it's in the right spots. But I've seen that from all of the quarterbacks, really, especially the veteran ones. I'm talking, the young guys, they're young guys, they're going to take some time. But the guys that are veterans, all three of those guys are getting the ball up quicker and getting it out on time. Tanner's been particularly sharp, and I've noticed that he's reading the defense, and we're seeing the ball thrown a lot more in the middle part of the field. So tight ends down the middle, backs on the check down. He's not forcing the ball into bad spots. We'll see him kind of take what the defense gets. They'll chip, and then all of a sudden, bam, over the top to one of the speedsters in Bo Tanner or Trinnaman or one of these guys. So I see a quarterback right now in Tanner Mangum that really understands what he's supposed to do with the football and is getting the ball up on time to the right spots, not forcing it into bad places.
Our Twitter question today is, which position group are you most excited to see this season for BYU football and why? So if you had to focus on one group, which would get and demand your attention right now?
This is funny because we talked about it last Thursday before the first practice. Then I went out to 3 practices, and the tight end group is really good, guys. Like, so good that after Saturday's practice, I pulled Coach Clark aside, and I just said, hey, Coach, I am really impressed with your group. They look awesome. The whole group looks good. Bushman, that dude's the real deal.
He hasn't even played in the game.
No, I'm telling you guys, he is so smooth and gets it. He understands how to stem a defender and how to get open. He understands how to position his body. And if the quarterback will just throw it away from the defender, he's going to make the catch. He's got smooth hands. He runs well. He's the real deal. And then Moroni, just as I suspected, he's in good shape, especially in Thursday's practice. He had some plays where he just ran away from people, and I'm thinking he's going to create mismatch problems. So that position group, Marshall looked good.
Baldery
looked, everybody in that group looked really, really sharp. So I'm thinking, wow, we went from a couple years ago where I was going, does BYU even have a tight end anymore? And is there any emphasis on that to, hey, this is going to be one of the strengths of this football team. And some of these guys are really, really young. It's going to be the strength for a long time. And it's not just that they're looking good. It's that in this offense, there's an emphasis to get them the football. We've seen a lot of throws to tight ends in the middle of the field in this first 3 days of practice. And so that's fun. That's an easy throw for a quarterback to a big target that knows how to get open.
Only one of those tight ends is a senior, and it's Baldery, by the way. So you're bringing all these guys back, which is awesome. Okay, what questions, and like I said in the previous segment, we don't get answers till the games, really. But what questions are starting to get answered a little bit to you?
So the offensive line, I don't know that they were a question, but I spent 2 of the individual periods. I just went down and watched the offensive line against the defensive line in individual. And Mike Empey's doing a really cool drill. Instead of just doing one-on-one where it's, okay, now Blaine, you go against Jeremy. He puts the whole line there, and then he calls at the last minute who's the one-on-one guy. Then they snap the football. The rest of the group just comes off one step, and then they stay and go till the whistle, just those two guys. So they have to go to the proper gaps and do all that. Really cool drill that I haven't seen before. I asked Mike about it after practice. He goes, yeah, I learned that at another place. It's a great drill, but it tells you how good these guys are physically. And I'm really excited about the conditioning, the strength, the footwork of both sides of the offense and defense on the lines. They're really good. This offensive line is really deep, and some of these young guys are big-time talents. So that group, I think, when we get into the season, is going to be on both sides of the ball. If you control the line of scrimmage, you win a lot of football games. And I feel better about both sides of the line on offense and defense, especially last year. I really wondered how they were going to be on the offensive line. And I figured they'd be better because of experience this year. But now in 3 days of practice, and I know it's only 3 days, I go, there's experience and there's depth. And to me, the offensive line isn't a question anymore. I think they're going to be really good. And the defensive line is deep. So you're going to be able to rotate fresh bodies through there. Handsome Tanielu is a guy that I've been watching real close. And he's in the best condition I've seen him at in this I mean, he came to camp in really, really good shape. And he's coming off the ball explosively. He's looked really, really good in the first couple of days. And I remember, Saturday's the first day they had even shoulder pads on. But once those guys put shoulder pads on, they kind of feel like it's live, especially up front. So they were getting after it pretty good on Saturday, and he looked very good.
True or false, Blaine, at some point in his career, Tanner Mangum will throw for 4,000 yards in a season as a BYU quarterback.
They have enough games this year that it could be this year. Because to me, my goal for this team this year is to be in the top 25 in passing. I'm not expecting. I want to be
per game.
Yeah, per game. Which, if you look at this last year, they needed to be somewhere. If you look over the last 10 years, that's somewhere between 275 and 300 yards a game. That's about where you need to be.
285 over 14 games
would get him there. So I would expect they're going to be between 275 and 300 this year. They're going to have balance, but I'd like to see a team that throws it for 285, 290, 300, and then rushes it for 175 to 200, depending on the game. Is that okay? Because I want them in the top 20 in total offense too, right? So mark that down. That's all I want them to do. But I do think that
I see it now through the blue goggles.
I do think that with the ball control passing game that Ty wants to run, if these tight ends are as good as they look, and here in the first early going, I think they'll have to throw a high completion percentage. He'll check down to guys. Guys will run with the football after the catch, and they should be able to produce at that level. So this is a year where he should be close to that. If they produce the way they should with the weapons they have, that's a year that they could look at that again.
Try these on. Just see what.
So
just look through those and see if you see 4,000, Blaine. Do you see it?
I see 3,840. Dang it! Dang it! I was hoping they'd get to 4.
I was hoping to get to 4 through the blue goggles.
The reason I say that that's a possibility is because they play that 13th regular season
exactly.
game. This looks like a bowl team.
And the back 7,
right,
you can rack up some
14 games. Hey, if they average 250 a game in the first 5 games, and then throw
that competition,
right, and then throw for 350 a game after that, which is the kind of thing that could happen. So they're not going to do what they did. It's not going to be, I hate to say, hey, when I played, it's not going to be like when I played where we said, hey, you know what, we'll run it if we feel like it. Or we'll run it to keep them honest with a couple of draws, and where Robbie's slinging the ball around 58 times a game. It just doesn't fit their personnel right now, and the way defenses are set up right now. You have to be balanced to be successful, but I think that we will be balanced with an emphasis on the throw game with Ty running this thing, and it's going to be fun.
A step towards going back to the roots, right?
Yeah. It should look like an NFL offense. So think Green Bay Packers, Seattle Seahawks, those types of teams. Or even, you go back further, think the Niners in the heyday when Steve Young was running that offense. They always had good running game to go along with the passing game, and it was a take what the defense gives. Throw the ball underneath and then occasionally take a shot downfield. But it's not this vertical spread, crazy, throw it all over the place type of an offense. It's a thoughtful, meticulous, move the ball down the field, possess the football throw game. Where some of this underneath stuff is just an extension of your run game. But yards rack up when you do that. They still rack up. You still can throw for 285 a game. Let's do it.